Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Moon Colony live stream. It's good to see you. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, yeah.
It
Um,
is.
every time I do that, I forget what day it is, like halfway through the sentence. So I have to like double check with myself. Um, but yeah, I hope you're having a great Wednesday. Today we've got Flo with us. How's it going?
Oh, me, you're
Yeah,
asking me.
you. Yeah, you. Yeah.
Sorry, it was just like
It's like so in
you are so
ingrained
in your
already.
announcement. I don't want to
Yeah.
interfere. I'm
Yeah.
good actually. I'm pretty good. Like I came out of a COVID crisis like a few days ago.
Yeah, I feel like
Took
everyone.
ages to settle.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's getting COVID
Yeah, it
recently.
is.
Like it's
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's coming back around again, but I'm glad
yeah, of
you
course.
you came out well the other side.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
yeah.
You
Uh,
guessed.
so we've got Flo with us today to kind of carry on with something that we did a few months
Yup.
ago.
Still guy.
Yeah, if you've been watching the streams or following along with the streams for a while, then you might recognize these back when we had Flo and Etienne both on the stream.
My
Um,
amazing references.
yeah, I love how you don't have like you don't use like pure ref or anything. It's just like throwing them on
Yeah,
the
honestly,
canvas.
it's
Yeah.
I do use Puref, right?
Hmm.
Like if it's for something more for a longer.
Yeah.
I mean, this is taking long now, so I'm thinking maybe I should have. But sometimes I think it helps like to have just the
Mm.
thing right on the canvas, and so you can just like sketch. You could eventually even like lasso certain things and just paste them in your image.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when it's on pure ref, it's more of a yeah, you look it up and you're like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, there's that and this kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I mean, having it right on the canvas, it's like you can take notes and all that. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually convenient
Yeah.
for
I can
me.
see that. I can see that. Um, so yeah, we've sort of pulled you back into something that we did a few months ago. But I think it'll be nice. There's some really cool designs that you've got here already. Whether or not you want to carry those on or do something brand new is entirely up to you. Um, but yeah, I think that
I'm actually planning on just like exploring a bit
yeah.
more about like not exploring the design, honestly,
Hmm.
like that's something I do at some point. Like those guys, they're just kind of standing there
Hmm.
in like neutral attitude kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I at some point it just feels, at least to me, I feel stuck when I do
Hmm.
that, when it's just like standing dudes doing nothing and you're just thinking in terms of design because they are doing nothing. The design is just like yeah, it's just like a bit of a feels like a template.
Yeah.
But if you start putting the guy in action,
Hmm.
now it's actually starting to get interesting
Yeah.
because once you start moving your character around, you discover that oh, this doesn't work. Oh, this pair of pants won't work if he has to, I don't know, stretch his leg. It lacks a bit of volume and this kind of thing. So yeah, I'm just gonna, I think, work on one pose, try
Yeah.
to refine it, probably try to work forward towards a line art or something.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
And then next time, if I can do some shading and colors, I'd like that, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Awesome.
that's the plan.
Yeah. Nice one. So yeah, if anyone, as we're going along, this is, if you've watched the streams for a while, you know that they're pretty laid back. But if you have any questions for Flo as we go through, then feel free to drop them in the chat, and I can pass them on. Or, they can be about pretty much anything. We don't just talk about art on these streams.
Uh,
In fact, very rarely do we actually talk about art, which is quite funny.
what is there to say anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's there to say that hasn't been said already? You know.
I could, nah,
Uh,
yeah,
hey.
I think we actually have a lot to say that hasn't been said already because that's right. Like right when you said it, to me it
Mhm.
felt painful. Like it sounded like those people who said, "Oh, it has been done already. Oh, everything has been
Yeah,
done already. Everything has been said. Everything has been
yeah,
drawn. Everything has been sung or filmed."
mm,
Nah, it hasn't.
yeah. That's
Definitely not.
yeah. I mean, that's true. I see. Like, I find it really entertaining because you. Every time I go on LinkedIn, I feel like I see you commenting on stuff on LinkedIn, and I always find it really interesting.
I stopped. I
Like,
just no,
I
nah. I quit. I quit
yeah,
LinkedIn.
yeah. I kind of get it. I kind of get it,
Yeah.
but
I'm so sorry that you had to see that, honestly.
no, I found it really interesting. Like, I feel like you're one of
Really,
the yeah, you're one of the few people that like really says that like speaks their mind um on
I
there,
do.
like which is refreshing, you know. It's nice.
Really, is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Honestly, like if I can make a quick comment about this,
Mm,
I think I decided to kind of like put like a lot of distance between me and social media in general
yeah,
for a while because even if it's not creative energy,
mm,
it takes a lot out of you. Like,
yeah,
especially the kind of conversation I've been having on LinkedIn. If you've
mm,
seen me commenting, I don't even know if I can actually say anything about that on this
yeah.
stream, but as long as I don't swear or whatever. But in a nutshell, for the people who didn't follow, it was a lot about current state of technology, and you have a lot of people online who say a lot of things,
Mm,
and sometimes it's just like factually wrong
yeah.
or uneducated kind of
Hmm.
thinking. It's just like people are going to say, "Oh, I have an opinion, so let's put it out there," and that's it. And the issue is when some of these are actually influent people. That's
Yeah.
when you start to be in trouble. So yeah, I had to. I don't know. I felt like I had to react to certain
Mm.
things. But now it's like my job is to draw. I want to focus on that and feel good about it
Oh
a bit
yeah, for
more.
sure.
So yeah,
Yeah. It's a dangerous thing with LinkedIn, right? Where it's like, or with any social media, when you know you start when you start talking about things, it's easy to kind of get sucked into that black
yeah,
hole, and yeah, but
definitely. But yeah, I do speak my mind. I'm not
mm,
exactly scared of potential consequences.
yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying anything that could put me in trouble. I'm just saying things
yeah,
that I think are fair,
yeah,
when it's about like this kind of things.
hmm,
Um, but yeah, eventually, like, you start also to realize, hey, I have a bit of responsibility to, like, carry, um, like your network.
yeah,
You work with a lot of people, and
mm,
at some point, if you go too far or you go too like, oh, I'm enraged, I'm gonna express all my rage online, and then you're like, no,
no, that's yeah,
because you work with people, you don't know what
hmm,
kind of consequences this could have on them. So I'm not
yeah,
scared about the ones on me, but I'm kind of concerned about the ones it could have on people around me,
yeah,
honestly. So yeah,
it's kind of a fine balance, isn't it?
exactly.
Especially on platforms like LinkedIn, where it's like, you know, it's supposed to be sort of
And
professional
also I
platform.
think, yeah, and also I think like there's probably a point in the future where I'm going to try and make a bit of a cleanup use
Mm,
of social media, like remove certain people
yeah.
from the network and try to have different interactions so that
Mm,
it's more um, targeted towards creative stuff, like
yeah.
art stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the number one reason I went online in the first place,
Hmm.
was to, like find like-minded artists and find inspiration and stuff.
Yeah. That's
And yeah,
yeah. That's the thing. Like God, when was it? I think it might have been like the start of this year or the end of last year. I like did a very similar thing where I was just like, you know what, I'm done with a lot of the social. I'm done with social media pretty much now. I want to take a break, and the only one that I've ever come back to is Instagram, because I just I follow a lot of artists on there, whether it's you know traditional artists or digital artists, tattooists, miniature painters, whatever. I
Mm.
follow loads of different types of creatives on there, and it's just a lot more refreshing because you're not being like bombarded with opinions that you don't care about, or you know
Yeah.
bad news all the time. It's nice. So I think for me, Instagram is probably my favorite social media platform currently, at least.
Actually use it only to watch funny sketches
Yeah,
and share my fiance's content. I don't even
yeah,
use it for myself, you know, like
yeah.
it's a complete mess. Like
Mm,
if anyone thought, oh, this guy is an artist, let's look up his Instagram. It looks nothing like like a concept artist kind of Instagram.
I don't know.
So it's just
Yeah, I don't know. You've got it's all artwork that you've done. So
oh, my content, my own content, yes, but
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
old stuff and
yeah,
this terrible habit that I hope I'm not the only one having on the internet, which is like posting a work in progress kind of thing and saying, yes, something more soon. And then 4 years later,
nothing.
there is nothing. And you post another one that is completely unrelated, and you're like, yeah, this time I promise I'm gonna do it, and you don't.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I don't know. I don't even post that much on ArtStation, to be honest.
Mm,
I
yeah.
missed. I guess I miss the days where it was mostly like good old DeviantArt and forums and
Yeah.
this kind of thing.
Yeah. I, I'm always surprised when people still, you know, people still use DeviantArt. Like I just kind of it's one of
Yeah,
those websites that I haven't heard about for so long. It just kind of slips to the back of my mind.
right.
But
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I said the good old DeviantArt,
oh
not
yeah,
just
yeah,
DeviantArt. Period. This
yeah,
it became something
entirely
kind of
different.
weird.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Although I actually
But
just went on actually on the DeviantArt like homepage, and it's not bad. It's got some like pretty cool stuff on there. I mean, it's stuff
yeah,
you could probably find on ArtStation as well. Like I think there's a lot of cross posting. Same with any sort of social media, I guess. But yeah, they have an interesting button on a DeviantArt now that I don't think I like the look of. Um,
yeah. Is it like a dream up or something?
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, oh, I'll say some hellos to the people in chat. I've totally missed them. I got so ingrained in our conversation. Um,
Hello.
Hi, Aggie J. Hi, Lemon Emlyn. Kathy Arts, nice to see you. Elvira, welcome. Gwendaru, Ras Pencil. Melissa's here. Hi, Melissa. Try logging
I'm
in,
being
seeing the first
watched.
page. Yeah. Um, Yagi J, hello. Um, Maxi Trut, hello. Lisa, hi, how's it going? Mardi Vuz too. Marco, nice to see you as well. Um, Abumation says whether to invest in social media or stop bothering altogether is a constant headache these days. I feel like it really depends, right? It depends on to a certain extent. I think if you want to like go into being an artist as like a career or something, it's almost necessary to a certain extent now. Like you have to have
I have a
some
bit of
kind of online
yeah,
presence.
I have a bit of a different opinion on that, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, so imagine that social media is like a scene, right? It's
Mm,
like an open scene where you can just stand and be like the show for everyone
yeah.
to watch, right? When do you get on the scene? When do you get on stage, basically,
Mm,
right? When you're ready.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that you have to be full ready, but you work, right? You
Yeah, of
repeat your
course.
text, you repeat your character, you're
Mm.
gonna repeat your play, whatever, and then you go on stage, and
Mm.
then you play and you act or you sing or whatever, and people see what you've done. But you won't go on stage every single morning just to, like
Oh
kind
yeah.
of show off and repeat, and you don't know your text, you don't know anything.
Mm.
So like the question is like whether to invest in social media. I'd say like you should. It sounds so bad coming from me because it sounds like something that has been said a million times
Mm.
before. But basically, in my opinion, you should invest in yourself first and
Yeah.
then go on social media if you feel like it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's okay if you want to post stuff online, but
Mm.
you need stuff to post. Basically,
Yeah,
that's
of
the
course.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And if it's just like a silly sketch every single morning and stuff, yeah, of course you're gonna flatter the algorithm, whatever, but
Mm.
are you going to feel good about it or improve your work or get better
Yeah.
because you just post a sketch every single morning? I don't think so, actually.
Mm.
And now people, I understand that now people are scared because they feel, yeah, but what if I don't post ever? And like
Yeah.
for a full year, I just work like crazy and I grind and I follow like uh, online classrooms or whatever.
Mm.
And then I go online and then I post stuff and people can see the gap between my old like shit sketch and then all of a sudden I'm super good and they're gonna say, "Oh, you used AI."
Yeah.
Proof. You just add this skyrocket progression, but
Mm.
I mean it exists, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Before 3 years ago, that's what you'd see
Mm.
a lot actually.
Yeah. I think I agree with a lot of that. I think, when yeah, y- go onto social media when like you're ready for it,
Yeah.
definitely.
Also when you're ready to take the
The
hits,
hits. Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with that, like with what you were saying, with like that say if you do rapidly improve in like that space of a year, you know, at that point, if it's like a portfolio or something, for example, then you just get rid of the old stuff. If it doesn't, if it's not, if it's not the best you can do anymore, then like why bother? I think.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's always nice to have the old stuff laying there for comparison. I remember an
Mm,
artist that I followed. I don't know what he's up to for now, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people know him because he used to work for Blizzard. Maybe he
okay.
still does, and his nickname is Mr. Jack.
Okay.
And he used to have a DeviantArt page. I don't know if he still does, but you could scroll all the way back to the first drawings that he posted there.
Wow.
So he's a crazy good artist. He's like really, really good. And you could just like scroll all the way back to his old drawings and see where he started, right? And
Mm,
it wasn't that great. It wasn't that bad, but you can see like if he posted this right now on the internet, you wouldn't care. You
yeah.
would say, "Oh yeah, it's okay. It's a beginner, right?"
Mm,
Um, but it's so reassuring to see that we basically come from the same place. So I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I guess it has two schools. Like, people are gonna be like, yeah, but you're gonna be judged on your worst work,
Hmm.
so you better not leave anything shameful in there. But maybe that's why you need at least two social platforms,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, one where you market yourself. Maybe it's ArtStation, maybe it's Kara, maybe
Mm,
it's whatever else. And then another one where I don't know, like man, like just use another nickname, an alias, and you just post whatever
yeah.
the hell you want in there.
Post all the fun
And
stuff.
yeah, it could be a Discord with your friends. I don't know. Um, but yeah, like you could actually separate both,
Mm,
like the student and then the professional, the
yeah.
potential professional. Because that's the thing, and I don't know, like, what's the age average in the chat in the Twitch? I
Mm,
don't even know if we have a lot of people, but I'm not old and I'm not young, but I'm old and young enough to have known the transition when we didn't have social media, we didn't have actual good internet, like the internet that everyone knows right now. It's like it didn't exist.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager, it was like you'd have those modem
Yeah,
thing
like a
like
dial-up.
doing
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you know, and you could not even click on an image more than like 64 pixels without having to wait for it to do like
A line
eh,
at a
eh,
time.
eh,
Yeah.
eh, eh. So it was crazy. Um, where am I going with this? Yeah, what I wanted to say is like um, the initial good stuff that we had as artists on the internet was that you would basically just share whatever you wanted and ask people around, and people would discuss these things,
Hmm.
and you would meet people online that just are as passionate as you and want to become professional artists or whatever. And you wouldn't be scared of being judged or having not enough likes or being jealous of that other guy who has like I don't know, like tens of thousands of followers because it
Yeah.
didn't even exist at the time. So obviously you would have like a bit of a common sense kind of thing
Hmm.
on forums where you have this one artist who is like much better than the crowd. And so everyone looks up to this person, and then eventually this person disappears from the forums because now he's working,
Yeah.
and you're left with just a bunch of like noobs, and you all get better, and then someone like gets higher
Yeah.
above the ground, and it keeps going like this.
Hmm.
But now it's like you start off and then boom, you are subjected to like the best artists in the world all the time, like
Yeah.
24/7, and it's crazy.
Yeah. And there's not really that wheel anymore, that like cycle anymore. It's like, no, that person has like, well, now it'd be like 1 million followers or whatever, or like 100,000 or 500,000 followers, and like they kind of just don't disappear because their work is still there and everyone is still
Yeah.
talking about it. So yeah, I can imagine it's like really, I can imagine it's really difficult. Um, uh, Kathy said, "Oh, Dan's here. Hi, Dan. How's it going?" Um, Kathy said it's hard because there's this social pressure to always be active as an artist, as if just creating art isn't enough. Like you need to constantly prove yourself, show, share, talk, etc. That can lead to a lot of anxiety.
I
Mm,
completely get it.
mm,
I leave you to like if you want to say something about it, go ahead. I'm gonna sketch a little bit, but
mm.
I do have something to say about this.
Well, I'll just quickly point that Dan said forums were really helpful back in the days to help grow your art. If I think all of the crap that I posted when I was 15, yeah, I don't feel like
Yeah.
everyone was there. We were all, even I, who isn't even an artist, was drawing like wannabe anime characters at 15 years
Yeah.
old. So, but
The you know the thing about it's funny because I think like the both comments kind of complete each other.
mm,
Um, but like we have right now, I think I say we because I put myself in that crowd as well. We have this tendency to kind of wait for someone to come up with a platform that's going to be helpful to us, you
mm,
know? But I mean, you can actually put together a PHP forum, like a forum, like in a few minutes. Of course, you got to pay for like um, the domain name or whatever. But it's actually possible to have a server which is private with a password, whatever, and you
yeah,
can actually share your art with people and try to start contacting other artists and have them come in here. And
mm,
yeah, I know, like everyone is going to be scared. Like, yeah, but it's probably going to be short-lived. Like yeah, in 2 months everyone is gone and back on Instagram or Facebook or whatever.
yeah,
But I'm not sure it's going to be true forever because what this person says when she ends like the comment with anxiety, like the thing with anxiety is that you kind of have to accept that it's there and just, like not give into it.
mm,
Um, and you'll find that it gets easier as you go. Like every single time you don't give in to anxiety, it gets easier the next time, and
Mm.
before you know it, you don't care anymore about social media that much.
Yeah.
And this social pressure, like to always be active as an artist, I mean, you have a social pressure to be always active as anything. Like, of course, if you're a plumber, you're not like super present and you don't have millions of followers on social media, but you do have to be active because you do have to pay your bills.
Yeah.
And that's what really matters, is to just kind of keep your head above the water and practice and keep working and studying and
Hmm.
just, like be consistent and to perform basically. And no amount of likes on Instagram is going to show you how you perform. It's kind of a fake metric, to be honest.
Yeah.
So you have people with millions of followers online, and it's great for them. But that really, like, definitely doesn't mean that they can actually work in the industry, or even that they do,
Hmm.
to be honest. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's my
Um,
2 cents.
yeah. There was uh there's always one account, I always forget the name. It's like a an art station account by this Chinese artist, but they have like so many followers, like insane amount of followers, and their work is really cool.
Yeah,
And it's not even their job. Like it's literally just like a hobby for them. In
yeah,
like their actual job is like a software developer or something. It's like
of course.
they don't want to work. They don't want to work as an artist. They don't want to be an artist. Um, they just it's just a hobby for them, which is
Yeah, I mean, being good at it, you can be like massively good. I don't even know if that's a correct way to say it, but you could be crazy good at art, and it's not enough. Like
yeah, yeah.
I think sometimes when I'm feeling a bit down, it's like the number one skill that you
Hmm.
need to become an artist is to be able to resist to how to take all the pressure that comes with doing things that you don't
Yeah,
like at all.
yeah.
So these people who are software engineers, they just draw for fun, and they are really good at it.
Mm.
And they probably get paid much better as software
Yeah.
engineers anyway. So it's like, would they actually pursue a career where they're
Yeah.
going to be subjected to, like, I don't know, you say Chinese artist, and I'm like, immediately I have this cliche of good-looking girls in fantasy
Mm.
outfits,
Mm.
way too, yeah, will up. Yeah, how
Yeah.
do you even say that? Will up.
Yeah. I
This
think
kind
it
of
actually
thing.
is Wallop. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you imagine these people being contacted, working a little bit on the things they like at first, and then
Mm.
suddenly it's like, imagine Will Up working on Candy Crush or
Yeah.
something
She's
like
gone.
that. The guy is gonna be like, nah, seriously?
Yeah. Like yeah, he's they've kind of got to the point where it's like, yeah, their art is amazing, but it doesn't really fit kind of like where do you put that? Like if you were to contact them for anything, you know? Um Uh, Lisa says, just as a point of reference, I'm not a big pro, uh, but I've gotten more jobs by emailing people and companies than from social media. All of the people who hired me did so from a portfolio website. My time is better spent cold emailing, in my experience. It's a bit random, but so are social medias. Well, yeah, I mean,
What is cold emailing?
it's where you just sort of shoot an email to like a
Oh, a
recruiter
company
or a
you don't know if
company
they
or
hire or not.
yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
literally just like a um it's just like a hey, here's my portfolio. Are you looking for anyone? Sort of thing.
Yeah, right. Okay, okay.
Yeah. They said I just mean if social media stresses you out, don't spend too much time on those and write some emails. Well, if it works, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I think a lot of people like posting on social media. I think it just needs to be that kind of removal of any of like the pressure that goes around it, which I think is where it's nice, as you said earlier, about having like a secondary account that maybe is an alias or whatever that
Yeah.
you can just post all of the fun stuff that you're doing, any sketches that you're doing, any like characters that aren't quite good enough to go in your portfolio. It's just like, but something fun. I don't know. I think that
Yeah.
would remove a lot of the pressure, but still give you that, still scratch that itch of being like active. Um,
Yeah, and stop confusing followers with success too. Like,
oh, for sure. Yeah.
one thing that I sometimes say to students in art school is like, go treasure hunting on the internet. And they don't really get what I'm saying at first, but
Yeah.
it's like, if you are on Instagram, Facebook, ArtStation, whatever,
Mm.
basically social media in a nutshell, the things you are being subjected to, like the
Mhm.
content, it's 99% of the time it's you didn't find it, right?
Yeah.
The algorithm found it for you
Yeah.
based on your use habits, whatever.
Mm.
But the internet is much bigger than that, and sometimes you can find it's possible to find images or artists out there. Like I found my absolute favorite one, which whose name is Android Art, all together.
Mhm.
It's his nickname, and I'm a big, big fan of this guy, and he's never to be found outside of Patreon, basically. He
Yeah.
doesn't have an art station, Facebook, Instagram, nothing. It's just his website, and it looks like precisely what you imagine a website looked like in the
I
90s.
literally just found it and it's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so
It's a
good.
marvel. This guy is so good and is a really nice person as well. Very, very easy to contact and ask questions to. So yeah, go treasure hunting.
Yeah.
It's really good. It feels good when you can tell people, "Hey, do you know this artist?" And
Mm.
literally nobody knows this artist because you can't find it on
Yeah.
any social platform, basically.
Yeah. Oh, I'm like looking through his website now and like he's done some like Zelda, what are they, like Zelda
Yeah.
Concepts?
Yeah, if you scroll down on the front page, you have like archives of a
Yeah.
lot of different stuff, and sometimes he actually updates some of them. And so here's this section, recent-ish updates, and you just have like a sentence, and the previous ones are just like crossed.
Yeah.
It's just so cool.
Yeah, it's so like 90s. Or like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love it, and it's good.
Oh, Emra says I still have his art tutorials from the early
Yeah, it's like
2000s.
one of the oldest, most popular tutorial, like PSG art tutorial or something.
No way.
Everyone knew that thing at the time of CG Hub, I think, or conceptart.org. It was like
Mm,
so popular. Yeah,
that's
I
nuts.
love him. Like every single time I felt kind of demotivated, I just kind of look up his work
Yeah.
and like I don't know. And I remember on one of his updates at some point he said, "I don't like drawing."
That was it.
I was like, "Wait, what?" And he went on this article where he explains that he has to draw because he has ideas and like he wants to design certain mechs or characters, creatures, like game maps, whatever. And so the best way to do it is drawing, but he doesn't
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah. That's so cool. That's really interesting. I'm kind of just browsing through his website now and it's really cool. Like I posted a link to his website in the chat. If you guys want to take a look, I really recommend it. It's really fun. Um
Just so people know, you have like a bunch of not safe for work stuff in there.
oh, I
So
haven't seen any of that yet.
yeah,
So yeah, thanks for that.
it's not hardcore or anything. It's mostly
Mm.
panties. So just so you know.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay. But yeah, he's got like a page called Game Design Prefs, and it's just like kind of game design theory and like map design and
yeah.
stuff like that. It's yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah, it goes a long way in terms of experience in making actual games
Yeah.
and like trying to think how the thing is going to work. And it's actually funny because I think this is a good example when people talk about their anxiety of posting online, being
Mm.
active, and I guess being recognized or accepted, you know,
Mm.
this guy isn't. It's
Yeah.
like he's spending like thousands of hours remaking an existing old ass game like a Zelda, but not
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild or whatever, like a Zelda 2 or
Yeah.
a Quake game or whatever, or like an old XCOM game.
Hmm.
A remake that is never going to happen, but he still works really hard to try to put together the whole thing from A to Z, and it's never going to become anything. So it's just for the pleasure of actually doing it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a big inspiration, honestly.
Yeah. Like as a Warhammer fan, I'm looking at his like Warhammer 40K page, and it's so cool to see all of the like all of the redesigns and stuff that he's come up with.
And it's very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. I think you can tell that although he doesn't like drawing, you can tell that he's having like a good time. Like he's having fun with what he's
Yeah,
doing.
I think it was mostly like a comment on if it could just come out on
Yeah.
its own.
Oh yeah,
And
for
so
sure.
when AI happened, I was scared. I was like, oh no, is he going
Is he
to
gonna
go
do
down
it?
that road? And so I actually asked him directly.
Yeah.
He was like, "Eh, I'd rather do it myself. I have full control. I was like, yes.
Yeah. I love that. Uh, hey, Anthony Wheeler, nice to see you. Welcome. Um, Melissa said every event that invited me as a guest did so through Instagram. A lot of job offers through there too. Yeah, yeah, I hear a lot of people go through Instagram. But I think something else that's quite interesting is like a lot of the artists that work at Moon Colony or have done work for Moon Colony, they also don't have like massive followings. A lot of them, you know. So, well, for a lot of studios, you know, you look at other art studios, and a lot of the people who work there as artists don't have huge followings. They're not all like super popular online or anything.
Yeah, and I mean, if we are being honest, you could take like a big triple A, very popular
Yeah.
studio. You probably know a bunch of artists who work there.
Mm.
But when you know the game industry, you know that it's not just five guys, right?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
that it's a fact. Even if you don't know the number, you know it's like thousands of people.
Hmm.
And so you have thousands of talented people working on that super popular game that you love, and you just know five or six guys who worked on this
Yeah.
super popular game, right?
Yeah.
But you have people just at the same skill level, and they
Hmm.
just don't have like social media,
Yeah.
so you don't get to see who did that
Mm.
design or that thing, and yeah, so
Yeah. It, it really puts things into perspective when you think about it like that. Hey, Quirky
it's
Shish.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, you
It's
go.
like when you watch a movie and you stay at the end with the credit rolling, like
Hmm.
who actually stays there and reads every single name and who did what,
Yeah.
when, how, you know.
Hmm.
And it's literally thousands of people.
Yeah. Yeah. I always remember like so when I was younger, I used to love Assassin's Creed. And I remember finishing Assassin's Creed 2 and being sat there, and the credits would go on for like a solid, I don't know, 10 minutes or something
Yeah.
crazy. Like you
Yep.
could get up, go make your cup of tea, come back, they'd still be going. And by the time you finished your cup of tea, they'd still be there. And yeah, I even back then, I just remember, wow, that's insane for that's for one game.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the same. Like most AAA games, it's like that.
Yeah.
And the worst part is that they sometimes forgot a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like it's very long and it goes on forever and
Hmm.
it's still missing a lot
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah. I have a friend whose first ever game credit, they misspelt her name. So her
Oh
name was
no.
like totally wrong. Um, and she was like, "Hey, you misspelt my name. Is there a way to like fix that, to like update that?" And they were just like, "No, it's not worth it. Like
Yeah.
for like one person, it's not worth it." It's like, oh, okay,
Oh,
cool, thanks, guys.
the harsh reality of things.
Yeah, yeah, the harsh reality of
Yeah.
just being told, "Nah, your name isn't worth updating it." Like,
Oh, damn.
I think she even said she was like, "Well, can it be put on like a note for the next like the next patch or something?" And they're like, "No, it literally just isn't worth doing anything with it." Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Because
It's like when you begin working in video games, or I guess any project, to be
mm,
honest, like large projects that employs like large teams and are released worldwide, you're so proud to tell everyone, "Hey, I worked on this thing." And if they forgot to name you in there, you can't prove
yeah,
it, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Because you also have to face that one client who says, nah, you can't post your sketches. We are just going to give green light to this and that, and you're
yeah.
not part of it, and so you have no proof whatsoever that you worked on this thing.
Yeah. So, oh, I worked on this. Really? There's no name, there's no like mention of you anywhere. No,
Yeah.
no, just
Oh gosh.
send them an email. They'll tell you. No, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Who?
Yeah.
We don't know this person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Even they don't have records of it.
Um,
Man, this pose has come along pretty cool.
thanks.
I love. I I don't know why, and I'm sure he wouldn't, but I love the idea of him just whacking someone around the head with that like beehive,
Yeah.
like a proper like clock around their head. Let me see what else we got. Mm-mm-mm. That's something I wonder as an artist. If you don't have to worry about money, would you enjoy your work more? And uh, if you do so, is there a change for the better? For
It's
example,
it.
I have personal time
Yeah.
off these days, and I was able to study and practice way more than having work time and worry I'm not getting fired. Well, it,
Is there a change to be better, or a change to be better? If I
hmm,
have PTO. What is PTO?
personal time off,
Oh, okay.
like
Was
holiday
able
days or
to study
something.
practice when on. I don't know. Even the start of the question is like if you don't have to worry about money, you will have to worry about money anyway. But it's just not gonna come through your activity as an artist.
Mm.
And I guess it's a question a lot of people ask themselves. I did ask myself this at some point in 2014.
Hmm.
I was like actually going through a very difficult time professionally,
Hmm.
and I like actually decided to give up on art.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I picked up my Cintiq, my computer, whatever, and I
Hmm.
just put everything in a box. I started sorting out my pencils, my brushes, my paints, and then trying to see how much can I sell this for, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, because I just got, like outed from a company as a
Mm.
freelance beginner, and I don't know, like I guess I had this belief that it was my one and only chance, so I just I blew it.
Yeah.
Um, and the thing is, I started applying to regular jobs, and where I was at the time, it's like literally all the jobs available. It's
Hmm.
to work in a slaughterhouse,
Oh
like in a
yeah.
factory
Yeah.
with food and meat and whatever. And I thought, what if I just, like I draw for fun? And everyone around me was actually telling me this, like, you can still draw for fun.
Hmm. It's not that easy
But
though, is it? Like,
no, it's
yeah.
like you are still going to work full day, full week, and be tired and come home and have the same exact thing you need to do, like the
Hmm.
laundry, your bills, go to the groceries, and if you
Yeah.
start to build a family or whatever, it's the same deal. You
Hmm.
have to do the same things, except now you're doing a job that you don't want to do,
Yeah.
and you expect that you will have time to do art on the side for fun.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't really think about it anymore because, yeah, I feel like I actually went down there,
Hmm.
working back in a factory and being like, yeah, I can draw when I'm home, and you just get home and you are like,
Yeah, yeah. I, I had that exact same thing. Like when I finished university, um, I was like, so I did games design when I was at uni, and I finished university, and you know, there wasn't really any jobs in the games industry at that time that kind of grabbed me. Um, but I had a small studio set up with some friends. We had it like registered as a company and everything. We had a little bit of funding. I think we got like, I don't know, 10,000 pounds or something as like a little bit of funding, whatever. And uh, I was like, cool. Well, I'll just get a normal job. I'll go and work in this warehouse for a few years while we're developing this game. That'll give me some experience. Blah 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 blah. And it was the same thing. I got home every day, and the last thing I wanted to do was then work for like an extra 4 5 hours on this project. So I ended up having to just be like, no, I can't do it.
yeah, right.
um, but yeah, it is tough. Some people manage it, and I mean, more power to them. Just that's passion and dedication that I wish I that I wish I could have had.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like, it's okay
Yeah.
that sometimes, I don't know if this person is asking this because of that, but
Mm,
yeah, sometimes you draw and paint as a job, and it has this tendency to start to feel like a job.
mm,
And so the pleasure is like sipping out of you every single day. And at some point, you're like, I don't even enjoy doing this anymore.
mm-hmm,
Why am I doing this? Why am I subjecting myself to this? What should I do? You know? And then you take a bit of distance, and you realize that. And I remember, and I cannot quote this person because I don't know it by heart, but
mm-hmm.
you realize that you are not making it fun.
Yeah.
So I'm not speaking about like big studios who practice like crunch, hardcore crunch or whatever, but in most jobs I've done as an artist, except for the very early days of my career, in most jobs I've been doing, it was usually quite okay. Like,
Mm-hmm,
I could actually do things my way. I could actually adapt my style to the project I'm working on. I could actually find an angle at which it's more fun than what it seems to be in the first place, you know?
mm-hmm,
So if you like drawing and you want to make this as a, like you want to become a professional artist, you will you will be like facing times where it's kind of your responsibility to make it fun for yourself, you know?
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I guess, yeah, like even I have a tendency to forget that, even if I'm saying it like now, and it's like, oh, he's so wise, but I'm not. Like sometimes I just forget, like, oh, this is the most boring job in the world. Why
Yeah.
am I doing this? And then you're like, no, it's not.
Yeah. There's much more boring jobs out there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think
you make it boring,
yeah, I
you
think
know.
there comes a point where yeah, you kind of have to make it fun for yourself, because you're not always going to have, you're not always going to have client work that is super exciting for you or you know, exactly what you love
Yeah,
to draw. Sometimes
and
you
and
might just be
some,
drawing rocks.
yeah, and sometimes what looks like the fun job on the brief document ends up being the boring one, and the one that looks boring in the first place ends up being the fun one.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the design point of view, it is the same as trying to find fun on the tasks I have. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I know you didn't mean to stop being an artist, but I meant more in the like we project ourselves on what it would be like if it was not
mhm.
our job. Would it be more or less like this or like that?
Yeah.
I think I think it would be doable in a world where you do not need to work, but like ever.
Hmm.
That would make sense. Like yeah, like oh, I'm gonna try myself at making artworks, video games, whatever. Oh, I don't know. Like I also want to try to become a musician.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna join this group of people and act in a movie or whatever, and then maybe like build a house or learn how to
Mm.
fix a car.
Yeah. Uh, I actually started working, started as a secretary for doctors, so I understand what it's like to work on something that you don't like.
Yeah.
And yet, then I went home super late after working and studying, and I didn't have the energy to draw at all. Yeah, yeah,
Oh
it's.
my God, that reminds me of one like a very cringe anecdote I lived about a secretary for a doctor.
Hmm.
So I went to a doctor, like an art doctor, and
Okay.
nothing is wrong with me. It was just like a routine kind of checkup thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you had a secretary at the entrance dealing with the papers, the like what we have in France, like the green card for all
Hmm.
the doctor thing is. And so she would like say hello to you, pick up your cards, start to fill the papers and stuff. Then you wait there and you go see the doctor. And I said to him, "Your colleague told me." And he said, "Which colleague?" I was like, "Your colleague at the entrance." "Oh no, you mean my secretary, not my colleague." I was like, "Oh my god,
Oh, that's savage.
oh my god." That's one of the worst thing I've ever heard coming from a doctor, to be honest.
That's savage. I don't know if I'd want to. I don't know if I'd want that guy looking after me, honestly.
I never went back, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
like
you're
I get it. You studied for years to be a doctor, but at the same time, like, damn, have some, like that's savage.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's like boomer level of thinking kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Like the entitlement there
Yeah, exactly.
is
You
nuts.
mean my secretary, not my colleague. Oh my god.
God, I was gonna say you know that they have awkward lunches together, but at that point they probably don't have lunches together.
Yeah, exactly. Like, can you imagine?
Yeah. Uh, oh, Kathy said they were like that with her too, but I was young and needed the money. Yeah, sometimes you gotta deal with it. But man,
Yeah.
that's brutal. I mean, when I when I worked in a when I had that warehouse job, I was the youngest person in the warehouse. I was like, I started the job when I was 21, and God, I was like the golden boy because I was the youngest person there. I was the only one who knew anything about computers. Like it was ridiculous. Like the slightest thing would go wrong and I had to fix it. I have no idea how they were running before I got there. But it meant that
Nice.
like this manager that I had would just treat me like I was I don't know that I was the best thing. I was the best person ever. But he
Wow.
was awful. Like he was such a bad person. like
That was
like racist, sexist, anything you can think of,
yeah,
and it was just like,
best ones.
yeah,
Oh god.
yeah. And I remember him being like, "Ah, I'll take you with me. We'll go to France together, and we can do some training." And like, because it was a fact, it was a the company I worked for like did a lot with the food industry, so it would be like he's like, yeah, we'll take you to France, take you to some of the factories over there. But I was like, I don't want to see how you treat like I don't want to see how you treat the French people over there. That would be so incredibly awkward for me. So every time I weaseled out of it um, until I found a better job that was more suitable for me.
Oh dear.
But yeah, it's
Oh,
crazy the stuff you have to deal with when you just need money.
yeah. I mean, I've been called stupid in my first job, but in the most indirect way and so clumsily, it was actually funny and I laughed.
Yeah.
So basically, my first ever job, I started as an intern in a video game studio, and like a mobile or no, sorry, a web browser
Hmm.
based games. You know, like when it was a big thing, like
Yeah.
web games. And so they had zero process on anything. So, for instance, you would go ask the art director, "Do you have like a graphic Bible? Do you have like a, I don't know, a color scheme? Is there a color I need to know about this guild and this guild, those
Mm.
creatures, those things?" And nobody could answer this. And so at some point, I started like putting together as much information as I could because I was an intern and I had not much to do.
Yeah.
And I started putting together what started to look like a Bible. And I sent it to the team. People liked it. And then the boss came. There
Oh
was
no.
three bosses in the same company.
Okay.
So like three CEOs for a company of 30 to 40 people. Can you
Oh
imagine
my
that?
god. What?
Yeah. And so it came to me, it was like, oh, that was good, like it's a good idea because, like artists, they need information, because it's sometimes, like you are not like coders, you are not like developers. Developers, they have this,
Oh
they can think about systems and stuff, but you artists, you
no,
need,
no.
and it was like, what is he even saying to me? And then he said, I'm not saying you're stupid. Okay, that's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, as soon as they bust out that I'm not
Because
saying.
yeah, because for him, the fact that I was thinking like of putting together a document to have all these informations about colors, like elements of designs on the characters, so that the art team would know about it. For him, it was stupid. Like we had to know that by art naturally, like instinctively, without even seeing those. And if we needed to, it meant that we were not very smart.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
That's absolutely nuts.
And at that point, honestly, I was thinking, how did this company ever manage to make money? To be honest, like,
Especially with three CEOs. Like
yeah,
that like that's a lot of money going out of the window.
yep,
Um, you're like artists?
you're
Yeah.
like artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh dear.
Yo, that's nuts.
I think he said like even like a year or 2 years later, he probably said something like, "Yeah, you have an artistic brain,"
Like having I don't know, having an artistic brain, I feel like can be a compliment, but it really depends on one who's saying it and two, like the context of which it's said.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, oh yeah, that's a really good insight, but like you've got more of an artistic brain, so
Yeah, exactly.
it's like,
Yeah, I've had my fair share of friction with like trying to take care of what looks like production needs and stuff, and I guess I gave up at some point.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's pretty insane the type of people that you meet, especially like people in those sort of high positions. They just have no idea. Um, Even when I was at university, like one of our lecturers was just like he would call you stupid like to your face in front of the whole class. Like he wouldn't beat around the bush. It would literally be like that was a stupid thing for you to say. It's like, oh,
All right,
okay, awesome, thanks, man. Love that. I
nice
love that. I
person.
love that I'm here to learn. But yeah, that's fine. Berate me if you want. Why not? Um, but yeah, like I remember you'd go up and you would have spent, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, whatever, on this like prototype for a game, and you would pitch it. You'd be up there with like your designers, your programmers, and a couple of artists and stuff, and you'd be like, "Here's the idea. Here's what we've done so far. Like, this is how the playtests were going. Blah 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 blah." And he'd be like, "Yeah, that's all great, but your idea is terrible and it sucks and you're bad and
What?
you should start again." And it's like,
What?
uh, what?
Oh my god.
It's like we have our deadline is in like 2 months, and you want us to do what? But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've had crazy situations where, for instance, I got yelled at for exposing that the company I was working in was being scammed by a fake 3D outsourcing companies in
Yeah.
the United States.
Hmm.
So during a meeting, basically, like we are talking about a bunch of 3D models that we don't have, on a bunch of designs that we provided, and like the boss comes in and says like, "Where are the 3D models? Yeah, we are still waiting on them." And I'm like, "But didn't you say that they stopped working on it?" And I have zero information about the situation. I just overheard a
Mm.
conversation about these guys that just disappeared from like the grid entirely, and we don't get any news from them, and they just got paid $30,000
Yeah.
to provide 3D models, and we received zero 3D models.
Oh my
And
god.
so I just said, "But didn't you say that they didn't, like they don't answer or whatever?" And the guy just became red as a tomato and exploded in the meeting room, and everyone was called out like one by one. And then I guess like lots of people started hating me for being so candid about it, you know?
Yeah. Then it's like, what would they prefer? Just that they just kept throwing money away? Like, I don't know.
They were not the CEOs of the company, so they were trying to hide it because they
Oh.
didn't know how to actually like tell the
Tell
boss
the boss that
basically,
they got scammed. Oh
like
man.
who is going to tell them how, when, this kind of thing.
Yeah. Uh, Kathy says, I used to have a professor that started the class by saying there are more designers than rats out there, so go fight because there's a lot. Yeah, I had that too. I had a lot of that.
Nice.
It's like, cool, you're on a design course. Well, first off, pick something else, because there's too
Yeah.
many of you. So yeah, it's insane.
Rats. Oh my god.
Um, Quotius said, "What would you recommend to someone who is following a totally different path from art and isn't very successful at maintaining both? I want to learn art, but I'm always tired when I do have the time." Oof.
Mm, I would recommend joining a group of people,
Mm.
not trying to do that alone.
Yeah, you can get a lot of energy or drive from other people. Like, definitely. Oh no, he's dying.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're right. Yeah, I feel like yeah, if you join a community, like, we've got our Discord. There's plenty of other Discords out there and other like uh, forums, whatever. But when you join a community, you can get a lot of drive and a lot of passion from seeing what other people can do, and also just being surrounded by people that might inspire you. Um, like I know I get a lot of energy from being around other people, so
Yeah,
I'm a big advocate for that.
and it's good to, like, I mean, having an online community is good, but if you can actually find people to draw with in real
Yeah,
life, it's
yeah.
it's great as well, um because you're gonna have like a mix between
Mm,
doing art and having like a fun conversation or interesting like interactions with people in
yeah,
general. So it kind of eases in the practice of
Yeah,
art.
yeah, and especially if like if you have like an in-person group, then uh it's nice as well because it tends to be a bit more structured. Like, okay, we will meet up on a Wednesday evening or whatever, um, and so you know that like every Wednesday you have this thing, and after a while it sort of becomes a habit, which is nice.
Yeah.
But even if you're doing it at home on your own, whatever, then I think blocking things out in a calendar and being like, okay, 3 nights a week I'll do some painting or whatever. That can really help a lot.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, everything goes smoothly with beer, right? So
yeah, true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Friday evening, grab a beer.
yeah, after
Go.
work, sketch
Yeah,
sessions.
yeah. Um,
And for the more like what's the word? For the more like intimidating topics, like if you want to do like live drawing sessions of a of this kind of thing in most
mm,
cities, if at least you live in a city, you can actually find associations or
yeah.
small groups of people who do that. And at least where I live, it's super cheap. Like and it's also like if there is more people doing it, it
Mm,
gets cheaper
yeah.
because like it's just to pay the model, and so you get to like regroup with people, and
Mm,
you just do like a big live drawing sessions.
yeah.
You meet other artists, and you have like it's always mixed up. Like you have professionals, but you have also like amateur, so
Hmm.
it's not as scary as it sounds.
Yeah. I mean, even even in my city, there's two, three, four, five live drawing sessions, and there's barely anything that happens in my city. So that should say a lot.
Where do you live?
I live in a city in the east of England, a place called Norwich.
Okay.
Um, it's it's quite quiet, but yeah, not much really happens. But yeah, it's quite. To be fair, it is quite an arts focused city. After saying that, we've got a pretty good like concept art course at our local university and stuff. So
All right.
so yeah, that kind of would explain why there's a lot of life drawing. But yeah, I'm sure you can find something. All the ones in Edinburgh keep getting cancelled. Maybe it's because there's not enough people to pay the model or whatever. It could be that. That sucks though. Maybe start up your own because um, there's probably a lot more people who are upset about it getting cancelled. So put the feelers
Yeah,
out.
we all need to work on our ability to form like movements around community fueled
Mm,
events and stuff.
yeah.
Like you cannot just keep waiting for someone else to kind of pop up
Mm,
and deal with it, you know?
yeah. I'm definitely guilty of that. Like, um, I've since found groups that I was looking for, but um, there was stuff in Norwich that I really wanted to do, and I was like, oh, there's no groups for it or anything, so I guess I'm just screwed. It's like, well, I probably wasn't the only person thinking that, and clearly not, because I've found groups that do it now. So,
Mm.
but yeah, if you can't find anything, then don't be afraid to try and start whatever it is, whether it's a life drawing session or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you can post like you can print up like a
Mm,
small piece of paper,
yeah,
just stick it in your local pub or whatever.
yeah, yeah. Um, Boko 100, do you guys do portfolio reviews? We do, yeah, we do portfolio reviews normally about once a month. That might be going up soon, but yeah, if you join our Discord, then I put a notification in there whenever submissions open for that. Um, so yeah, take a look. It's usually venue price keeps that keeps them cancelled, which is sad. Yeah, that is sad. That sucks. Um, Cathy says, in my case, joining the Moon Colony Discord helped me a lot, and having the streams as well. I grew up not knowing much about art. All of my family are lawyers. Wow. Um, and at that time, there also wasn't much about it in Argentina. So it took more
Hmm.
time to find my path. But now I can say I've improved a lot from when I started. Still working on that,
I,
of course. Well,
I can completely relate to that
yeah.
because even if I come from France, for the longest time, the art industry it wasn't even a thing in my reality, to be honest.
Mm,
And I come from a family where I'm like literally the only artist. Nobody draws, nobody does anything creative.
yeah.
So yeah, you have no idea how it works. You have no idea where to find jobs. You have no idea where to find other artists. You have
Mm,
no idea of anything. It's just like this fantasy thing. Like you think, no, it's crazy. I'm never going to work in that. It's not even a job, is it?
mm,
And you just kind of wander for the longest time, and eventually you start finding signs
yeah.
all around,
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Emma.
and then
Yeah,
there is the internet.
that totally slipped my mind. We also have the portfolio reviews on our Lunar Academy website as well. So if you want more in-depth portfolio reviews, then take a look on there. I believe they're an hour long. You can have them with multiple people, including Emra, who is our lovely founder and creative director, and some of our art directors too. So take a look at that as well. But yeah, I can imagine it's pretty. It must be pretty intimidating, going into or wanting to get into art, but uh, yeah, it's such a mystical kind of industry. At least it's a little bit less now because I think you can kind of Google your way through a lot of it now. But
Yeah, I guess so.
even even going back to when I was a kid, like I always knew that I wanted to be in the games industry, like ever since I was like a child. But back then it was like, yeah, that's not a job. So have fun trying to like have fun trying to find your way through life into that. But
Yeah,
I was really lucky that as I grew up, it became a lot more common. Like I was able to do courses. I mean, YouTube started becoming really popular, so I found a lot of stuff on there, and it it is a lot of digging, you know.
exactly. The thing is now, it's like back in the days, it was harder to actually find the entrance
Yeah.
to the industry.
Mm.
But then you had much less competition,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now the entrance, everybody almost knows where to look for
Hmm.
it. So now it's like the competition is crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's one good for one less good. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. It's swings and roundabouts, I suppose, where it's great that it's great that everyone now can find where to look, but at the same time, it's like great. Now
At the
everyone
same
now
time,
everyone
everyone
knows where
knows
to
where
look.
to look.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty much like the gold rush, right? It's
Hmm.
like, oh yeah, there is gold somewhere, but we don't know where exactly.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, everybody knows where it is, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah. It's like,
it ends in a bloodbath and
mm,
this kind of thing.
yeah. Vera says I met so many cool artists at Moon Colony. You guys let me connect to other artists, so I don't live under a rock anymore. That's nice. That's good. Um,
He still lives under a rock, but now in
now,
contact with really good artists.
yeah, you're kind of under a shared rock now. So
Yeah,
it's a
it's like you
communal rock.
push the lid a little bit, and now you're in contact with the outside world.
Yeah.
I know the
Uh,
feeling.
I also had no idea you could actually be an artist. It was always get a real job. Yeah, everyone knows that saying, I think. I had a I had a really interesting conversation with my parents. I think it was in my like second year of university, where I just turned to my parents and I was like, were you disappointed when I said that I wanted to go into like games, like when I wanted to get a job in the games
Yes,
industry?"
son,
And
I
they were like,
was.
they were like, "Yes, no."
I
Uh,
still
I,
am.
I'm very I'm very lucky that I'm very lucky that my parents are very supportive of me. But they were
Oh, good.
my mum was like, "Yeah, a little bit, but only because she didn't know, like the the more that I've followed that route, the more confident she became and comfortable she was with it. But at the time, yeah, I think she said she was really concerned that I would just end up sort of chasing a pipe dream, you know?
Mm. I guess I understand. I
Yeah.
mean, to be honest, even after working for like more than a decade,
Mm.
like most people in my family have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh,
Like
mine have
they
no
don't
idea.
they don't know what it is. They don't understand, and they won't bother trying to understand.
Yeah, that's that.
And it's
Mine don't
fine. I
either.
mean, yeah,
Yeah, it's one of those things where someone's like, "So what do you do for work?" And it's like, well, I mean, I'll just I'll just make something up. It's fun.
yeah.
What's the closest thing I could be?
People think I still think I work in comic books.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you make characters on the computer. I do.
Yeah,
I do make
you
characters
make characters
on
on the
the
computer.
computer. I even make them inside the computer.
Whoa.
But you draw on the thing, the screen thing, computer screen thing. Yes, I
Yeah.
draw on the computer screen thing. Wow, I could never do that.
Well, that's why I'm here and you're there. Yeah. Just tell them you eat crayons and get paid for it. Yeah, honestly.
Another contrast thing I lived once. I don't know if contrast is the real thing. Like a realization kind of thing from
Mm,
parents who are concerned their kids are going to pursue a career in art, you know?
yeah.
So I had two parents come to me in an art school
Hmm.
and just ask me if I can guarantee them that their daughter is going to find a job in the video game industry as a 2D artist.
Oh.
And so my question was just, what do you do in life, you know? And they were both postmen, you know?
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And so I just asked them, okay, I want to change career. I want to stop doing art. Can you guarantee to me that I can actually find a job as a postman? And it was just like, no,
Mm,
we can't. Well, that's it. You
there you
get your
go.
answer.
Yeah. 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 It's always.
It's, especially right now, it's like in this context, like who can actually guarantee you're gonna find a job in anything, to be
Yeah.
honest?
Yeah. That's such a good answer. I would not have thought about that
Actually,
as a
it was entirely fueled by being scared of saying something
yeah.
bad. So I thought I'm gonna spin the question and
Yeah.
give it back to them, and it just worked really great, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I panicked, to be honest. You
It's
have two parents, they are like 50 years old, you are like 20 something, and you have like
Mhm.
a girl, she's a kid, and you're like, oh my God, what do I say? What do I say?
Yeah. The funny thing is that you know that you wouldn't get the flack for that. Like it would be in like the car ride home that the kid
Yeah,
would just be like, "You can't do this. There's no way you can't do it." Yeah. The therapy stream. Every word of it resonates so much. Yeah. Sometimes
really?
sometimes we have a therapy stream. It's fine. Just
Yeah, that last question, that last comment, that was actually me inside. Like, I don't even know how I managed to find some work for the last 10 years.
yeah.
What are you asking me?
I can't even guarantee myself a
And
job, let alone your
and
daughter.
yeah, And as a teacher in a private art school, you have this feeling deep inside when they ask you this is like, actually, you can become a teacher and sell the dream that they may probably find a job,
Yeah.
and then the wheel keeps
Keeps
going, and I
spinning.
was
Yeah.
feeling so bad about it.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, thank you, Melissa, for the hydrate. I did just take a drink. Well, as you redeemed it, so I'll pass on another one. But thank you. Yeah, and a posture check. Thank you again. To be
It
fair, I
just
sat like,
popped next to me. Thank you.
yeah, I just sat like, I have a really
Mm,
bad habit of sitting on my chair like cross-legged, and I can tell it's terrible for my knees, but it's like the most comfortable thing ever. I'm gonna regret it.
is it?
It's really comfortable, but I don't know. I feel like sitting cross-legged can't be good for you.
Mm.
It's terrible for your back too. Yeah, exactly. Although, Melissa, my back seems pretty good. You and Leonie always talk about my posture, so clearly I'm doing something right.
Work on your form.
My form is pretty good. That's why they like keep bringing it up, because apparently I look like I've got a wooden plank strapped to my back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think people don't see me from the side view, but I'm actually like, my head is always like that.
Yeah, it's
You
extreme.
know,
Yeah.
and I try, like I have this thing, and if I don't feel, I need to be a little more
Yeah. I never thought that
uptight,
my
I guess.
Yeah, I never thought that my posture was that good, but since it's been pointed out whenever I see videos or pictures of myself, I'm like, okay, maybe I should relax a little bit. Like, maybe my posture should be kind of a little bit worse. You're a baby, wait till you're 30. Oh, well, yeah, maybe. I've still got like 5 more years. Well, four and a bit, but don't remind me. Uh, I do the same, but then I need to walk because my knees hate me. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I sit cross-legged, but I have to get up and do a little walk around like every so often, which is
Yeah,
pretty
actually,
good for you anyway.
I have a question for the chat. If anyone wants to answer that one, is like, how seriously do you take advice of actually working out or having like physical activities when
Mm,
you draw a lot on the computer and stuff? Like, I'm
yeah.
actually wondering how seriously people take those
Mm,
advice and if they actually like follow through and do something about it.
yeah. There's someone uh there was someone in the Discord community who I know was like they got a standing desk, and then they got one of those like small treadmills that
Mm,
just goes like in front of it, and so they would like walk in place like while they drew, um which was interesting. I mean, I don't know, it is difficult because as imagine, especially as an artist, like you can get kind of uh zoned in, like focused in on what you're doing, and it's like 3 hours go by. It's, oh crap.
yep, that's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
It's just so expensive in the end, but that's one of the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
When you forget to eat, drink, pee, sleep, whatever, and you're just like hours in, and then you look up and you're like,
Where
where
am
am
I?
I?
Yeah.
What day is this?
Yeah.
What year? And you go in the street. Excuse me, sir. What year is
What year
this?
is
And
this?
it's just it's crazy. It's like so wow. Especially during the winter, because like the
Yeah.
days are so short that
Yeah.
you eventually work during the daylight,
Hmm.
and then the night falls, and you just get used to this feeling, and eventually you end up working until past midnight, and you don't
Yeah.
know about it.
Yeah.
Be careful with this; it's actually pretty bad.
Yeah. Remember to eat and drink and
Yeah,
stretch. Uh,
and have social interaction
Yeah, especially the social interaction. Touch some grass.
outside of
Yeah,
the computer.
yeah. Um, I try and lift some small weights and stretch, but I forget. I try. Uh, I really need to worry about my eyes, I think. I'm always looking at screens. Yeah, I mean, lifting small weights and stretching and stuff is pretty good. Um, that's more than most people.
Mm.
But yeah, I I mean, I don't have to worry about my eyes. My eyes are already ruined. But
Yeah, I think if you are always looking at screens, you should worry more about your back
mm,
than your eyes, to be honest.
yeah,
And your sleep cycles as well.
mm, yeah,
Like it's actually crazy. Like I tried during a week to see what happens if I stop using any form of screens 2 hours prior to going to sleep,
mm,
because I didn't actually feel like it would have any kind of effect.
yeah.
It's crazy how much effect it actually has. You sleep so much better.
That's really interesting. I mean, it's been
Yeah,
years since. Well, actually, no. I saying that I have felt that because whenever I go like camping or whatever, um I don't have a screen, to fall asleep in front of or anything like that. Like
yeah,
I might listen to an audio book or something, but yeah, I always wake up feeling a lot less tired.
yep,
Um, and I never really thought about it. And every time someone mentions like the whole blue light thing, I'm like, oh well, I mean, whatever.
yeah. You should try it. Like to actively
Yeah.
get away from screens
Mm,
in the evening so that you get this lack of exposure to blue
yeah.
light,
Yeah.
and then do the opposite, which is like in the morning. Well, during winter is kind of hard to do, but in the morning you
Mm,
wake up and the first thing you do is try to, if you can see it from a window, it's like face sunlight in the morning.
yeah.
And if you can't, you just go outside and you try to look in the direction
Mm.
of the sun, not directly at the sun, obviously.
Staring at the sun.
Please don't do that. You will have to worry about your eyes if you do that. But yeah, it has an actual effect on the body. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, we've been having research on that for years, and now you just kind of take them seriously.
Mm.
So
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing that I've found when camping is that because I'll be in a tent, I kind of I wake up with the sun. Um, and there's barely any of that grogginess, and you wake up and you're just like, oh, I really can't, I don't want to move, whatever.
yeah,
Like waking up with the sun, just like coming through the tent or whatever. Oh, it's so different. You just have so much more energy like first thing in the morning.
yep,
It's crazy.
yeah. Screens are bad,
Yeah.
and it's not even like it's not even uh like a strong effect that you have
Mm,
right away, but it's like you do it 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, and you start feeling like a big difference,
yeah.
and it just, yeah, it just makes sense to me actually, because
Mm,
like once I read about the cortisol thing, I was like, what's this?
yeah.
Are you telling me there is there is a potential solution to me being stressed out all the time? Yes, there is.
Yes. It's called
Mm.
returning to being a human being.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Um, let me see. My main problem is the wrist of your hand. Yeah, I mean, make sure you actually like stretch that. I don't know how you prevent carpal tunnel, but
Oh, for the
just
ends,
yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's movement. Like this year I had like actual problems all around, like the back, the neck, the shoulders, the
Yeah.
elbows, the wrist, the fingers, all of this at
Yeah.
once. Like just my body
Oh.
said, stop. Let's stop here. And so I went to see a physio, and
Mm.
he asked me what I do for a living, and when I gave the answer, he was like, "Yeah, okay, it's fine. You're gonna be fine. The only thing you need to do is move.
Yeah.
It's just move." And so for the ends, it's like actually doing as
Mm.
much mobility as possible. So
Yeah.
you do this, and then for the wrist, it's just like literally just moving stuff around slowly and gently, and you do the same thing with your elbows and
Yeah.
all your body. You just
Hmm.
kind of move it,
Yeah.
and it's gonna prevent a whole lot of issues
Yeah.
later down.
That's the thing. My cousin is a physio, and uh, and she's like, yeah, so many problems can be solved by people just stretching or just like moving,
Yeah,
even
move.
like just even a little bit, just move, you know?
Just move. It's like literally the one thing that the World Health Organization
Yeah.
says to everyone is like move, like just
Just do
get
anything.
up and move.
Yeah.
And you don't even need to do anything crazy. It's like
Mhm.
if you want to lose weight or gain muscle, it's a different story
Yeah.
because it's like you need to actively do something to
Mm.
actually work on that part. But if it's just like I want to prevent having back pain, neck pain, whatever, it's just literally you need to move.
Mm.
And we have no idea how little we move. Like
Yeah.
even since the stream started, I'm not even sure my head did anything like this
Yeah.
even once. And
Yeah.
it's normal because you work on the screen, you look at the other thing, you
Mm.
have no reason to do that ever,
Yeah.
but you need to. It's just that you actually need to. And those chairs, which like they turn, so you
Yeah.
never actually turn your
Turn
neck
your head. Yeah.
ever. It's just silly,
Yeah.
you know.
That was something I came to the realization of a few days ago, actually. I was sat at my desk, and I turned my head one way, and I was like, that's like really difficult to like really turn my head. It's fine now. But it's when I realized, yeah, it's because I don't turn my head. Like ever. Like I have no reason to do
Yeah,
that.
you have no incentive to do so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get that.
But yeah, it's just yeah, so now I've been trying to like I don't know, every hour or hour and a half or something, I just try and give my neck a like give my neck a movement because I move everything else quite a lot because I fidget, so everything else gets moved around, but not my neck.
Yeah,
Uh, what's this? Melissa said I had a professor who said that he did the thing where every morning he stares 15 minutes into the sun. I hope not directly, to gather energy. I think it's a
yeah,
step to breatharian or whatever. Well, I mean, I feel like there's something good about being in the yeah, there's something good about being in the sunlight like first thing in the morning.
mm. I mean, it's an actual thing.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
it's like your body gets the message that
mm,
it's time to get up,
yeah,
and when lights goes down, it's like it's time to go in your little nest and
yeah,
go to sleep or
yeah.
protect yourself from the cold, this kind of
Mm.
thing. Get comfy,
I um
watch Netflix.
I watched a video the other day of uh there's this Vietnamese lady who lives in Germany, but she came to the UK for the first time on holiday. She went to London, and she was like, "It's so grey here, and it like can't decide whether it wants to rain or not, on whatever. The weather's always changing, but everyone is so happy for some reason." And I'm just like, man, that is a different UK from what I know. Like that's that's a different London than I know. I don't
So
know. But yeah, it's
to be honest, I live right now. I live in an area of France where it's like mostly sunny
mm,
during the year, and I wouldn't say people are happy. People are very grumpy and
yeah.
very ill-intended most of the time.
Yeah.
And then when I go on vacation on the northwest in Brittany, like
Oh
right
yeah.
below England, like I don't know, like everyone is so lovely with
Mm.
us. It's like, yeah, you know what?
I
It's
think
so great in here.
I think maybe it's a I don't know, maybe it's the fact that when it's because it's so sunny, it's like, well, we have nothing to complain about, so I guess we just have to find something. So then they become grumpy, and then as soon as it gets to the places where it's grey and horrible, it's like, well, it's already terrible,
Maybe,
so
I
why
don't
make
know.
it worse? Let's try and make it better.
I don't know. We have a saying here, it's like cold outside, warm inside,
Yeah,
and the opposite is also true.
yeah. Um, Elvira says, "May I ask a question?" You can. I'll let you ask two questions because that first one was already a
Yeah,
question.
exactly.
Um, sorry, that's such a dad thing to do. I'm really sorry. What are you thinking when you're drawing these shapes? Like not making them parallel, thick or thin. I know it's autopilot, but I'm trying to learn better shape design.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, this starts with the assumption that those shapes are good, which I would probably debate for a while. I don't know, honestly. It's like usually what I try to do, and I say I try because I'm trying to maintain this right now, but
Mm,
what I do is like, okay, so imagine a square. It's like a very simple shape. You have a square, and it's not very interesting, right? I mean, it's just a square.
mm-hmm.
But if you just want to make it more interesting, you could actually make it like not exactly the same ratio, so it's a
Mm-hmm.
rectangle, and then you would probably like curve it a little, and like basically give it an intention.
Mm-hmm.
And the one, the number one intention I try to give to my shapes most of the time, it's like speed and weight, like reaction to other shapes, basically. And I have one area of the drawing right now that I ate, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna change it at some point. It's like the belt area here.
Uh-huh.
It's like it kind of doesn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like when I try to make those shapes, like for instance, like here you have his sleeve, right? And the base volume of it is like a cylinder thing. But if you just do a cylinder thing, it's like okay, its axis is here, it goes in this direction, but you could make it better by just kind of, like pull it a bit more in this direction, like to give it some kind of speed effect.
Yeah.
That's what I try to think about, basically, most of the time. And then I try to just, like if you think about a teardrop shape, it's going to be like you have one side which is thinner, one side which is thicker, and so it goes something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to put that pretty much everywhere. So in the end, it's like just a bunch of teardrop shapes all around, basically. Spin
Uh,
and weight. Yeah,
yeah.
I haven't thought of it in terms of speed before. Well, it's something that I would like to actually explain at some point, but it's like super odd to formulate. It's
Yeah.
like basically when you look at this image, it's a still image, like it's an instant in time. It's not moving, right?
Yeah.
But it's actually an instant in time. So something happened before and something is going to happen afterwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I always try to think about it this way. I'm thinking like, yeah, things move in this direction, so that's why like he has this big ass like hairstyle going back with the drag, and like his ponytail here it does the same thing. It goes in this direction, and like the beard, it goes in this direction.
Mm.
But once the movement is going to end, all of these are going to kind of sell, you know, and then you're gonna have the bed just fall straight down and this kind of thing.
Uh, so I think I understand when it gives an illusion of what is going to happen, like animation, but still.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if you're wondering, like I guess it's a matter of learning angle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like some people are very sensitive to just learning shape design. So you're gonna find out like about artists. We're gonna share like knowledge about this, and maybe you are receptive to it. And
Mm-hmm.
if you are, it's great. And so you can actually learn shape language because of that. I'm not sensitive to it. Like I don't get it actually. Like it's really hard for me to actually get what those shapes mean or why this shape or this one shape would make any difference to my design. So when I started thinking about speed and weight and movement, then it started to become more consistent in my work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still working on it, but yeah.
Yeah, I think
And then you
it's
have a matter of taste.
yeah.
Like if I had to sum it up, like I think the box is a great object for that.
Mm.
But so you have I'm gonna zoom in a bit. So you draw a box, right? And it's like a very normal looking box. So it's like just straight edges, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this. So this, let's say it's like a box A, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we do another. So it's going to be box B, and this one is like kind of carved in, right?
Yeah.
It looks kind of sharper and just kind of cartoony in a way. Maybe you can do a combination of both, so it's like you have curves on the side and it's just straight lines on the outer, like the top and bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a C box. It's just going to be like the opposite. It's going to be like she's like a like a balloon a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And just this is like three different visual language, right?
Yeah.
And maybe you have a favorite one. If I don't know, like instinctively, I would say that this is like Crash Bandicoot, right? And this is I don't know, like maybe um Animal Crossing kind of thing, right? Like rounded,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Box A, the boss design lesson.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but so basically, it's like you could explore actually treating different primitives
Mm-hmm.
in a different way and just kind of finding the ones that you like the most.
Yeah.
And then you can like just kind of play around like same thing with the box. You can actually like give it a direction, like it's turning in space. And it's just like it's not a box anymore, but it's like it's a moving box, right? Like
Yeah.
it has an axis, it has an intention. Because when you think in terms of just shapes, like especially 2D shapes, and you're just like, yeah, I don't know, like shape design, I'm trying to do these things, and it's just so convoluted and weird and means nothing. So, yeah, starting from the simplest primitives, like square, round, triangles, and then like cylinders, whatever.
Mm.
It's like when I draw, um, so I'm not very good at anatomy, actually. But my survival kit was basically like the cylinder, right? So you have a cylinder, and then people say, "Yeah, I want to draw dynamic looking poses," and it's literally here it is. Now it's
Yeah.
dynamic, and that's it. It just like when it goes straight ahead like this, it's like it looks really stiff, right?
Yeah.
Because it just goes like this. It doesn't really have a speed or anything, and then you just go woo, and now it I don't know, like it feels fast all of a sudden.
Mm. It's yeah. It's really
It's great.
interesting. Yeah. How various like it's very simple, but it works. Yeah. Yeah. It's fun to play around with as well. Sorry for ruining the
in the
therapy for your
therapy.
classroom for your
Nah.
classroom stream. No, it's
What?
fine. It's fine. You didn't ruin anything.
What? Why though?
You're fine. Um,
Having fun is a therapy. Learning stuff is therapy as well.
true that.
Actually, some research found out that learning new skills makes
Hmm.
you feel happier.
Yeah, it, I can I can picture that. I can see why that would make you happier. I wish I had the focus to learn new skills. That's the
Well, is it maybe it could be anything.
yeah
It could be a recipe, it could be a song, it could be I don't
yeah
know,
that's true.
like how to juggle.
Yeah yeah it's true. I can juggle two things, but I can't go any more than that. Like the people who can juggle three or four, that's insane. Upgrading the skill tree. Yeah.
Spending those perks points,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Skill points. Where do I put them? It's so expensive.
I feel
Don't put it on poise. It does nothing
it does nothing.
anyway.
Yeah.
If you've got the reference, I respect you.
Elvira's like, I feel so good now that you taught me about speed, my knowledge of the day. I don't the wording of that I think is like really interesting. Because it sounds like you just taught her about a new drug. Um,
What? No! Oh my god. Oh,
we have
oh
limited
no.
mana, especially for older people, so we need to spend it wisely. You're not old. You're still young, Elvira. Finally, someone gets it. All in strength and vitality.
Oh.
I've been playing Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader recently, which is like an RPG of the Warhammer games. And when you level up, it just gives you so many stats, and they're not given like the normal names either. It'll be like um, it'll be like toughness. One of them is fellowship, uh, and it got to the point where I was like, yeah, I could read what all of these do and what their equivalents are, but yeah, I'm just gonna go all in on like fire, on like agility or whatever. You know, it's like the ones that I know, I'm just gonna put points
Yeah.
into.
I mean, honestly, I would be so glad if someone modded certain games to change the names of stats for dummies, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
does more damage,
yeah,
scares the shit out of enemies,
yeah.
gives you more money, you know, this kind of thing.
Yeah. It's like when I'm like when I used to play the Souls-like games, like the From Software games, and you get given like the list of stats, and it's
Mm,
like, yeah, if you put points into this stat, it'll change these, and like this, and this. And I'm like, but I don't know what those are for.
right?
Like, I know what strength is, but I don't know why it's changing like five different stats on top of that, you know?
I mean, when it's the first time you play a Souls game, it's just so confusing, and
Yeah.
especially you don't know yet, but those decisions that you take are so game changing.
Mm,
You're probably ruining your run and you're gonna start all over again, but
yep.
you don't know, right?
Yeah. That's the thing. Like when I played Elden Ring, I was like I started the game, I like started putting points into some stuff, and like every weapon I picked up, it was like, yeah, you don't have the stats to use that. I'm like, but why?
Mm.
Like, and it was like I could only use like super specific weapons because the way that I'd like allocated my level ups was just Not apparently not the way the game wanted me to do it,
Yeah, of course.
which
I
was
mean,
a massive
I'm also
shame.
this kind of player, to be honest.
Yeah, I
So like
was.
when I played Elden Ring, the only thing I cared about was for my character to look cool while he was attacking, you know?
Yeah,
So it's like you find a weapon with a really cool combo and you're like, "Oh, I love it, so I'm gonna put all my stats in there." But then now you're capped at like
yeah,
something mediocre, you know?
yeah. I remember how sad I was when I picked up like the weapon that is like a big pizza cutter,
Mm-hmm.
basically. I picked that up and I was like, oh, I want to use this so bad. It looks so fun, and then I just couldn't use it at all. Or like you can equip it, but it basically does nothing because
Yeah.
like your stats are trash. I was just like, no, that's so sad. And then I stopped playing Elden Ring.
Oh no.
Uh,
I
but
mean, the ending was one of the most frustrating fights I had in a video game, to
I
be honest.
I've heard that, and I've also seen it. Like I've seen more of the game than I played, and yeah,
Yeah,
I heard that the
but I mean, it's
difficulty
like
spike is
you have
immense.
this giant beast who just
Mhm.
jumps around an arena which is the size of London, you know,
Yeah,
and you're like with a melee weapon being like, "Are you serious?" And you run and run and run and run, and then the thing goes.
yeah.
It's crazy.
I remember when Elden Ring came out, like within the first week, people were like, "Yeah, be a mage. Mage is broken in this game. Like you get this staff, and it just deletes bosses. Basically, like you can kill the final boss with this crazy OP
Mm.
staff." But I feel like Magic is like that in a lot of Souls games. It's just the
Yeah, I mean,
easy
it's
easy mode.
broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Challenge beat Silent Hill with just a pipe. Yeah, that's yeah. That would be okay for most of the game. It's just the bosses that you would struggle with. Some of the bosses, like Silent Hill 2, well, and I think 3 as well. There's like a boss that is someone like strapped to a bed and is just flying around the arena. There's no way you could do it with just a pipe, but I'll try it. I need to get the new Silent Hill first, or the remake.
Uh, I'm not big into scary games, to be honest.
I uh I like them, but it depends on what kind of horror it is. Like psychological horror stuff, I love it, and I'll play that no problem at all.
Mm.
Um, Stuff like Alan Wake or Silent Hill, like I'm happy playing that. Even Dead Space, I'll play. But
Mm.
uh, but Alien Isolation, I can't do that.
That
When
space isn't scary.
no, Dead
Is
Space,
it?
it's
Is it?
it's it's labeled as a horror technically, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not scary.
Oh no, not really, no.
I mean, Alien Isolation is scary.
Yeah, yeah, I can't
I
play that.
it's my, it's in my bucket list, actually. It's
Yeah,
like I have the game. I played the first few minutes, I guess, and then the thing just comes from the ceiling, and then that's it. I can't go further. I'm like, it's
yeah.
like my childhood from a creature. So,
Yeah. I
and just hearing that thing, like the sound design, oh my
yeah,
God, it's like, how
yeah.
did they?
That it's nuts. Like
It's
um
crazy. It's just a crazy game.
I think
So
there's
good.
I think there's like a small like documentary series on the making of it, or like a longer documentary on the making of it and all of the like crazy amount of detail that they put into Alien
Yeah,
Isolation, like
I
developing it.
actually, yeah, I actually try to exercise my fear of the game by watching making ofs or whatever to
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like accept this is just a video game. But then I launch the game, I have my headset, and I'm like, I can't do it. I
Yeah,
cannot.
and you're just hearing like the
I
the
just,
the beep of the heart rate, like the heartbeat
not,
monitor
not
thing.
even that. The
Ugh.
thumping, the like
Yeah.
every single sound of every metallic object, or just
Mhm.
like a door. You just
Yeah.
walk and the door goes, psh, and you're like, what?
Yeah. I'm that's one game where I'm like similar. I only played the first few minutes and I was like, yeah, I'm done. I think I'm good. I'll
Yeah.
come back to this when I'm like a fearless 60-year-old man.
When I'm about to leave this world on my
Yeah,
dying bed, I'm gonna play the game because nothing scares me anymore, and
yeah.
you're still scared.
Yeah, yeah, it's horrible. They're making a second one. They
Really?
announced, yeah, they announced like
Uh,
yesterday or the day before. They were like,
really? Oh my god.
yeah, they were like, yeah, it's in development for a sequel, which will be interesting to see because like a lot of people are like a lot of people once you get over that initial fear, it's like okay, yeah, I know how the game works now. I can kind of I'm kind of over the fear, the fear of it now, so I can just play it.
I don't know.
So
Can you?
I don't know. A lot of people like all of the
Just
reviews that I've seen and all of the people that I've spoken to about it have been like, yeah, they were scared for like the first few hours, and then after that, it's like I kind of know how it, I know how it works now, so it's like
yeah.
less.
So they were not scared. They were like subjected to jump scares or this kind of thing, right?
I guess so. I don't
Because
know.
I'm genuinely scared. Like when I play the
Yeah.
game, even when I play the game, as you know, there is a point in the game
Mm.
where the alien, the xenomorph, actually appears. But
Yeah.
before that, you will never face it. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
impossible.
It's
It's
impossible.
not
Yeah.
part of the game code, right?
Mm.
And when I play the game, I played it 5 times. I think it's
Yeah.
ridiculous just to reach the same point and be scared and just give up.
Yeah.
But when I played the game 5 times, and the alien isn't there. I know it's not there. I know it's never going to be there, and I'm still scared.
Yeah.
So for me, this is being scared. It's like
Mm.
the ambience, the atmosphere of the game. It's like it's really getting to me, and it's the stuff of nightmares for me. But like literally, it's like literally my nightmare. I
Yeah.
actually had a nightmare with a xenomorph like 3 days ago, to be
Oh
honest.
my god. Oh
Yeah,
man.
it's like a childhood trauma thing. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just crazy. It's like
That's like me with a lot of like underwater stuff. Like
yeah,
I have a like a fear of
the depth.
kind of depth. It's yeah, so like I'm never swimming in the ocean ever in my life. I've decided that already.
Okay.
I'm never scuba diving or whatever. But yeah, it's similar. Like I'll be in a game where it wants you to go underwater and it's like not a scary game at all,
Hmm.
but I will be kind of I'll start getting like sweaty palms, and it's just like uncomfortable. Like I was playing this is like a crazy example. The other day I was playing um the what was it called, like Sackboy's Adventure or whatever, like the Little Big Planet character got his own like platformer game like when the PS5 came out.
Yeah, right.
And I was playing that the other day, and there's a whole world in that game themed, like thematically themed to be underwater.
All right.
And I spent the whole time like sweating. Like I had like my palms were sweating. Like
All right.
the game is not scary at all. Like it's a kids game, but for some reason just the theme of it being underwater was
Yeah.
like
S-
enough.
So, so I'm guessing you never actually came around to play Subnautica, right?
I did for about 2 minutes.
Okay,
Bec-
same here. Like
yeah.
I was, like there's people show videos of um the actual scary monsters that can
Mm.
attack you
Yeah.
underwater, but it's just the beginning of the game where you have like this big whale
Yeah.
um, jellyfish kind of thing, like giant
Yeah.
stuff, with the very smooth, cute sounds, but it resonates
Yeah.
underwater, and I'm like, nope, nope,
Yeah.
nope. So you can't move on in the game
Mhm.
because you do have to go deeper and in the darkest areas. So it's
Yeah.
like,
I yeah. I literally like because I knew what I was getting into when I got it, but it was literally like, yeah, you crash land in the water. I got out of the little pod. I went down to the coral reef, and I was like, this is fine. And then I heard, yeah, like that like the first little fish thing that like echoes underwater. I'm like, no, I'm good. and then left.
Mm,
Um, it it's crazy. It's
I don't
nuts.
belong here.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
really like it's just as you said. I think it's like some kind of childhood thing because
yeah.
um, like I can play other horror games and be like totally fine, but underwater stuff always gets me. Even if I know nothing is there, I'm just like, I don't like it. Oh, your
Oh,
your stream dropped. No, it's okay. You're back.
really?
Yeah, you're back.
Huh, nice.
Sometimes it does that. It's
Yeah,
okay.
we are nearing the end anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
So
it's true.
yeah, it's 6 p.m. here.
Yeah,
Does
boy.
anyone has anything interesting or deep to say to end that stream?
Yeah. Um. Well, while we see if anyone else has anything deep to say, I just remembered that I need to mention we put out a little teaser today for our next Moon Colony competition. So, for those of you who might not have seen the previous ones we've done, we try and host a few competitions every year, concept art and illustration based ones, obviously. And we released the teaser on our Discord for our next one. The full theme is going to be announced on the 16th of October, so that's only next week, if my date's all right. Yeah, next week. But take a look and see if you can guess what the topic will be. It'll be fun to see everyone's guesses. We've had some interesting ones so far. Somebody guessed that the theme was Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc., which I think is a great guess, but not correct. But yeah, take a look at that, and I hope you look forward to the competition. It's been a long time in the making, so thank you everyone for your patience with that. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, some of the topics brought up today were very helpful for what I'm going through right now. So thank you. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad we could help you out. Um, but
I'm
yeah.
glad too. Like it's actually important for me. Like
Mm,
I don't know if it's there, but I was there is
mm,
something some of us can say, and
mm.
it's always nice that we can help each other. Like
Yeah.
you're not alone. Like really, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like bad or whatever, you can be sure of one thing: there's someone else out there who just feels exactly the same right now, and
Yeah.
some other who felt exactly the same before or will in the future. So the best thing to do is like actually speak up and reach out. It's really super helpful, honestly.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. As Elvira said, we all share our rock. So we all live under the
Exactly.
same rock. So um, but yeah, we'll have to wrap it up there. But thank you so much everybody for watching. It's been a pleasure to chat with you today. I know it's been yeah, it's been a pretty heavy one, but I really enjoyed it, and I think I agree with Flo. It's like
Was it?
super important. Well, I don't know. I mean, there was like a lot of like deeper topics discussed today,
This
which
was
is like
easy
interesting.
mode.
Yeah,
You're not
next
ready.
time we'll do hard mode then. Next time we'll do hard mode then. Let's see how far we can go. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, thank you everybody for that. It was really nice. I agree with everything Flo said. Like, it's super important. If you are struggling with something, then talk to somebody. Um, but yeah, and thank you, Flo, for coming along and doing this. Like, this guy turned out
You're
great.
welcome.
I
It's not finished, but
No,
yeah.
it's not finished. But yeah, I was gonna
It's,
say I can't wait to see it going forward. I'm sure we'll grab you back on here
yeah.
at some point.
Y-
But cool. Well, we have another stream on Friday. So if any of you guys are about on Friday, then come along and say hi. That will be with Alex Heath, who hasn't been on for a little while. So thank you very much, and I'll see you all Friday. Goodbye, everybody.
See you guys. See you everyone. Bye bye.